The 2023 January LiST report is really being broken up into two different sections to try and make it a little bit more easy to digest. So the first part is going to be reflecting on the year that we had, as well as forecasting what it is that we should expect in the year going forward. So in terms of reflecting, I think the big question has been whether or not there's some real embedded inflation. Toronto's property taxes are set to go up 5.5% as part of the 2023 budget. The Mayor Tory had said that the proposed increase is a significant one, but also protects the services while addressing inflation. So that's what's happening in that situation. The foreign buyer ban has really been a very hot button topic that a number of people have reached out to me about. So, although legislation targets non Canadians, there are very notable exceptions. So, there are temporary work permits that are excluded. Most international students, refugees are still allowed to buy residential properties, and that's still without going into the different building types. So, that would mean any large building that contains four or more units and anything that falls under the category of a recreational property. So that's cottages, cabins, vacation homes. Those are all going to be exempt. Um, the commitment to continue to market to the vast buyer pool is, I think, a direct relation to the fact that many people have lots of ways around these things, be it through a Canadian corporation or friends or family with somebody that is a current student or a permanent resident. The other thing that's really been a very hot button topic is the now legislated vacant home tax. So essentially, if you're not occupying your property for minimum 6 months, the uh, challenge that you're going to be faced with now is going to be a 1% tax. And that 1% tax is really payable to anybody that's within the confines of the GTA, with a very few exemptions, which would be, the recent death of an owner, or if somebody's in full-time care, repairs, renovations, of course. The transfer of ownerships if the property's already been sold, or if you have occupancy, full-time employment that's required elsewhere, or the seldom situation of it being a court order. The challenge to you now is that there's going to be an onus to all property owners to submit a declaration form as to whether or not they're occupying their property for 6 months or more within the GTA. The city has also really enacted a plan to put in greater density in Toronto. So we have the More Homes Built Faster Act. It's an Ontario-wide approval toward garden suites and laneway suites, income generating property, meaning basements or not attached dwellings. The idea is to address the missing middle by streamlining the approvals process and reducing construction costs, fees, development charges. So that's really our reflection. Forecasting what's going to be, I think, is another really important task at hand here. So the first thing that I think we can anticipate is a lack of inventory. So it seemed like inventory was coming back to life a little bit during the summer months and earlier of 2022. It's been on the decline really ever since, and leading to very low levels now. So supply is still scarce, and Toronto is expected to grow in numbers and demand. That being said, I still think that we're forecasting a drop in prices. There's continued downward pressure on housing prices. I think that's the most likely event, and I don't think the market has really absorbed all the higher interest rates yet. Jason Mercer, the head economist of the Toronto Real Estate Board, the head analyst, so that he thinks there could still be some good news on the horizon for home buyers, in that they're starting to see a quote unquote flatlining in terms of prices, and that should potentially be the trend going forward, entering into the first half of 2023. There is a very large amount of pent-up demand. That's what occurred in 2022, and it is significant. There's a record number of new immigrants to Canada in the last year, to the tune of 431,000 migrants. And our immigrants accounted for, 36% of our physicians, 33% of the business owners with paid staff, and 41% of engineers. I think that we're also going to continue to see very strong growth in average rents as well as a result of this pent-up demand and the hampered affordability for those looking to purchase. Premium inventory is still selling. That's still what's happening here. Premium meaning inventory that's, unique property that's in high demand that can't just easily be replicated. So what does that mean? Of course, location, location, location. So it's a return to the city center, following the mass exodus that we saw during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. So how do we really wrap this up? I think the big question of, where to find deals in 2023 is, Q1. Many of the deals that are taking place right now are just the, bold buyers that are going out and willing to write offers to find the motivated sellers. Sellers are beginning to show their motivation level in the listing price, but they remain afraid to chase a slow market down. They are, however, willing to make deals when the right buyer and the right terms come along. So right now, as I said, I think that the bold are really being enjoying whatever the fortunes that come of that. As they say, fortune favors the bold. And so my clients that are actively engaging right now in hunting for property and trying to aggressively go out and trying to get some real deals, those are the people that are, I think, really set to succeed in the market and to secure some very good deals in this marketplace. If you want to chat a little bit more about the Toronto real estate market and we're interested in discussing buying or selling, I'd be more than happy to chat with you. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. LiST with Lani.